Not long before the events of the Chimera, 4 space pirates were sent to the desert planet of Akiton to regain their captain's hold over Khefak Depot. Get in, restore balance, get out. A simple enough plan. Batten down the hatches, mateys. This is Will Save and the Interstellar Tales from the Extragalactic Adventure Anthology. Unknown Treasures.
Welcome back to another episode of Unknown Treasures, a component of Will Save and the extra... Oh, I messed it up. Dang it.
Component.
A component of,
part of the engine. That is
a subsidiary.
a member, a subsidiary.
A subsidiary.
Of Will Save and the Interstellar Tales from the Extragalactic Adventure Anthology.
Can you give us an update of the Will Save and Intergalactic Adventure of Subsidiary, please?
Yes.
That's not an update. You just said yes.
We need to meet with our lawyers.
You asked if I could. You didn't tell me to do that. You just said...
Okay. Sorry.
I'm capable of doing so, yes.
You forget Kev is also a murder bot. You've got to be really explicit with him.
A meowderbot. Sorry.
Meowderbot. You are Meowderbot.
Okay, before we go any further, I know this is going to take a lot of time. Vinny, I want to know all about your only ever trip to Los Angeles.
Oof.
Yeah.
And this might get a little confusing because time frames, you're heading out to LA sooner or later.
Right.
But I want to know about your first, I guess it's your first time to LA.
Right. My first and only time in LA. I'm going to tag Jon in because he was also there for all of it. And this was a long time ago. This is what, 10 years?
2012.
How long ago?
10 years ago.
2012. Yeah. 10 years ago.
Yeah. Good time.
Dude, flew from the East Coast to the West Coast, which that jet lag is really fun. Went to In and Out.
Why did you come out?
Oh, I came out because Jon was moving, I think. I remember loading your car up with a whole bunch of stuff and driving.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So Andrew and Jon drove across the country and you flew out to meet them?
So I flew out to LA. We loaded Jon's car up and drove it from LA to Jacksonville, Florida, from the West Coast to the East Coast.
To pick up Andrew.
And then to pick up Andrew. And then Andrew and Jon drove back.
Okay. That's where I'm confused. I was like, Jon was moving to LA, but he was already in LA.
I was just moving places, so I was just taking my stuff with me instead of putting it in the storage unit.
Yeah. So we just took it from the West Coast to the East Coast and back to the West Coast instead of just...
So displacement was 0.
Right. Net
displacement, yeah.
That's
went to In and Out for the
5,000
first
miles
time.
in between.
You
went where?
That was the first place we went. In and Out. I'd never been to In and Out before.
Yeah, good times.
Unfortunately, it was too long ago. I don't remember how it was.
Delicious.
I also remember being exhausted for most of that trip. And we had brunch because it was about that time. Went to Jon's apartment, met Chad.
Shout out Chad.
I met Chad. He's a cool dude.
Great guy.
Chad's golden. Chad's goated. I miss Chad. I only met Chad once and I miss him. Yeah, so we did that. We packed some stuff up and then I had to go shopping because I did not bring appropriate clothes because Jon had a gig in Malibu. At the time, I was doing a lot of sound engineering work. So I pulled up to Jon's gig with him, sat behind the console.
Yeah, we literally had a gig and it was me and this singer named Rozzy and it was for her label and they brought fashion people in and literally we were there.
Lauren Conrad was there?
Yeah, no, was just saying she was like, who's going to run sound? And I was like, you'll never believe this. But my friend Vinnie runs sound and he's here. And so you ran sound for this is again, literally you landed in the morning and this is 2:00.
Yeah.
I need more. So you showed up in what? And they're like, you can't wear that because we're fashion people, and they sent you away.
I just remember flying in and I knew he had a gig, but I expected to just be a wallflower, not in front of anyone. And he was like, "No, you're actually running sound, and it's going to be right next to the stage." So
that's a work trip.
There's like a private Malibu home where
Right.
it's just like right on the PCH and you're just at the ocean. And it's just like a small party kind of thing. You know?
There was no hiding. Like, it was just stick out like a sore thumb, which I think I still did because it was like pastel beachwear shorts and t-shirts, and I'm in like
Very fashion.
jeans and Vans and
Yeah.
black
We
tee,
literally
so short,
play.
whatever.
Vinnie
And you're
kills
7 foot tall, so you're like
Right.
it. Here's the
towering
thing.
over people.
Right after we stopped playing, this tall dude comes in. And Vinnie and I were chilling. And I think, Vinnie, you noticed him first.
I did. I was like, is that John Mayer?
And I was like, no way. Like, literally right after we stopped playing, and Vinnie, this whole thing, he comes in.
No, I distinctly remember this because I was like, does that mean Katy Perry's going to be here? Because they were dating.
Yeah, because we're at that time.
What? And then tabloids the next day, they broke up. And
Oh,
he
no.
he looked super salty at that party. I was like, cool, that's probably why.
That makes
That's
sense.
probably why.
Yeah, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just crazy that you land and then go run a show.
So we left from the party and went and drove out into the desert.
We literally drove and like we had Slater's 50-50, right?
Slater's
Oh, Slater's
50-50. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Dude,
Good spot.
okay. This spot.
It's great the first time. It
It's
wears
okay the
on you.
first time, but
Yeah.
It changed my life. I have ripped this burger off in so many different ways just because I love the concept of like half beef, half bacon burger patty. Like, bought a meat grinder so that I can make my own ground bacon
Nice.
because they don't sell ground bacon, and have been making my own like 50-50 burgers ever since.
They're probably amazing.
They are pretty good.
We got a barbecue with Vinny,
Yeah.
for sure.
We're probably
Yeah,
better than
I
some
realize I
others.
talk a lot about barbecue on this podcast.
We need when you're out here, you can borrow our
can borrow
barbecue
my
pit
trigger.
here. Yeah, like whatever you want
Dope.
to do, wherever you want barbecue.
Done.
So,
There's
give me
a
a
barbecue.
shopping list. I'll pick something up.
Yeah, same.
Dope.
I'm sad I can't join you.
Yeah. Well, you could have gone.
I know.
Yeah, Kevin, you could come. It's fine.
Take over that.
I won't recount the whole drive because it was like,
Oh, there was one moment where we left. The first night we slept in our car in like
well,
Vi-
why? Why did we sleep in your car?
because we didn't want to go
So-
in the motel.
No, we drove north into the desert. We stopped in Ludlow,
Oh yeah, love that.
pulled up to the sketchiest looking motel we have ever seen. Like, straight up Bates Motel. Did not think we were going to survive the night because someone was going to murder us. We walk up to the front door and there's a sign that says, go next door to the gas station to book a room.
That's right. I forgot about that.
We went to the gas station and he said they were all booked up.
There were other cars.
Getting gas.
This must have been the only motel for 200 miles.
Yeah.
So
That's what it
yeah,
felt
we car camped. It was like 102 at 2
horrible.
o'clock in the morning.
What the hell?
Yeah, it was dumb how hot
It's
it
like
was.
outside of Death Valley.
What the?
I
Where
guess.
is this? Oh yeah.
Ludlow.
Yeah, we woke up the next morning, saw the Grand Canyon, and continued through Kansas. Shout out to John's cousins for showing us some good hospitality.
I just want to say we did drive from that horrible night's sleep. We were like, let's make it all the way to Colorado Springs. And we did
We did.
at like 4 a.m. We
Uh-huh.
stayed at a Motel 6.
Uh-huh.
We leave at 9 a.m. and we're like, let's hustle. Let's get to Kansas where we know we can chill in Lawrence with my family, right? We go. We're like cruising. We're like seeing the farmland. We're having a good time. Then we kind of hit that stretch in the middle where there's just nothing. It's just
Nothing.
flat. You're just on the highway.
Vanishing point.
And we pull off into one of those towns where like you can see the town from the exit. It's just on both sides. Like that's the whole town. We pull off. We eat at a little cafe. It's cute. It's a good time. They're like, here's your check.
We were at the border of Kansas.
We were at the border. They're like, here's your check. I'm like, cool. I'm going to pay my half. And I'm like, Vinny, I don't have my wallet.
Oh no!
I called the Motel 6 and they were like, yeah, we found a wallet in a room this morning.
The gas station?
No, the one in Colorado Springs. That's 2.5 hours away.
Oh man!
So we drove back from the Kansas border of Colorado back to Colorado Springs
Yes.
and then went on to Lawrence.
Yes. Also, I got a ticket in Colorado Springs at 3 a.m. coming down the mountain, and a
Yeah,
cop
that
like
sucked.
flashed us at the last second. I
She was
spent,
really
like, a
nice,
month-
though.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the other speeding ticket you got?
Oh,
Heading into Memphis?
yeah. We were outside. We're trying to get to Memphis after we were in Kansas, and we're just pulling through, and then we're driving through some nice, Tennessee roads. And then we'd hear like, whoop, we pull over. This cop comes up. He's like, hey, I noticed y'all got some California plates. You seem like you're pretty far.
This dude, okay, you could
Pretty far out of your lane, buddy.
Yeah.
we could hear like the spurs clanging as he walked up to the window. He sounded like Yosemite Sam. It was incredible.
Oh, no.
It was
I say.
Yeah.
Mustache is twirling. Just
He's like, hey, where y'all headed? Because he saw the Florida license, the California
Florida.
plates.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what's where y'all boys headed? We're headed to Memphis to get some barbecue. He's like, oh yeah, y'all should go to Rendezvous. Like, Rendezvous? We don't, we'd been Googling some places, but he was like, yeah. I was like, how do you spell it? Write it down for us. He was like, yeah, it's R-E. However the heck you spell rendezvous. Just go there.
It's great. He just cuts off in the middle.
Wait, did he give you a ticket in addition to giving you advice on where
So
to
wait,
go?
he just pulled you over to harass you and find out where you were coming from?
There's two embarrassed.
rendezvous. Who's your ticket?
Get out of here.
I'm no lawyer, but I'd tell him to go, well, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we went to Rendezvous, and it was great. It was a good
It
time.
was pretty good. Yeah. And I felt great. Like, once we hit Memphis, I was like, oh, I'm back in the South. Cool.
Yeah. Good sweet tea again.
Yep.
Man.
Sweet tea, big hair.
I'm so interested in the South, man. Like, Vinny
It's
uses phrases that we just don't use here, and then, like, I just want to, like, explore the South, man. He does.
Drink a mint julep on a porch.
He said, if I had my druthers the other day. A mint julep,
A couple weeks ago.
I'd be drinking a mint julep right now on my rocking chair.
I think I got vapors.
I've only been to, like...
As well rocks in his rocking chair.
Yeah, was actually rocking.
He is actually rocking right now.
Well, I think we just need to do a show. We need to go record
South.
in the
Yeah.
South somewhere.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be worth just like recording a road trip because I can't even count. I think 3 east to west road trips that have all been ridiculous for their own reasons. I've only had 1 trip from west to east. Nope, I take that back because my wife and I just moved.
That's
years
true.
ago. And that was a pretty crazy trip all in all.
I did west to east, and I did south to north.
Yeah.
I've never done any of that.
There was the most memorable for me with talk about your like gas station experience was one time a friend and I went down to a we were in New Hampshire and we went to a Connecticut casino. Come to find out my friend probably shouldn't be gambling because he doesn't know when to stop. So he gambled for like 9 hours. We're both drunk at this point and like we finally get like it's 2 a.m. They finally cut us off and they're like, hey, you guys should leave. And we're like, all right, fine. We go to the hotel nearest us. We rode our motorcycles, by the way. We go to the hotel and they don't have any rooms. So what did the 2 of us do? We slept on our motorcycles for about 6 hours.
What?
Before going to Six Flags the next morning with our friends.
My God.
Kevin, literally anywhere else would have been more comfortable at a motorcycle.
Yeah.
There was nowhere else to go.
Oh, you can sleep on a rock or something.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ground.
I think that's where my friend. I actually was able to get comfortable like across my tank. I took my jacket off.
What kind of bike were you on?
I was on my Ducati.
Oh, okay.
I had my jacket over my tank and was like huddling that, and I was pretty comfortable.
You slept on a sport bike.
Yeah,
Ducati?
Wow. I don't get those logistics.
man, that was a fun trip.
More than just a bike.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can talk road trips all day long. I think it is important though. This show's not about road trips.
Really?
It's about
What?
Starfinder.
I thought it was the friends
Yeah,
you make along the way.
Yeah, I thought about the friends.
No.
No,
That's the real treasure.
There's no friends here.
That's the real.
I'm just kidding.
treasure.
Terrible.
You're all my colleagues.
Yeah.
Work
This is a
associates.
business. No,
Workplace
work
associates.
We keep it strictly professional on Will Save.
Strictly.
Yeah, strictly.
Who's contacting HR?
Are you guys ready to play?
Yeah, let's do it.
Or you guys want to?
play.
You want to roll
Yeah.
back? Okay.
We talking about some levels?
Hey,
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
talking
So
about
let
our
me
leveling, yeah.
wrap up a little bit. What happened last time? You finished that fight with the Thesterian Khefak. It was a brutal fight, but those tides were turned after we figured out the rules. Turns out environmental protections are a big deal. You all made very short order of that thing after that, and Thaddeus finished it off with a bullet to the eyeball. After that, you leveled up. So let's talk about leveling up. Yes. Let's start with you, Jon. You seem eager to tell us. Do you guys? And I'll leave that option. You can tell us what you leveled, how you leveled, or you can just say pass and move on, and we can figure it out along the way. So let's do it. Let's go, Jon.
Wow, that's a good question. I don't think I've said what my class is.
You could tell us. Did you keep the same class? You don't have to tell us what the class is.
I did keep the same class. I did do an appropriate skill, spread. Yeah, I think I got some good things.
Do any of the other players want to guess his class? I know the class because I'm the GM and I know everything.
I feel like you guys probably know, but maybe you don't.
I think he's a mystic.
I mean, you're going into the same class, or you're double classing, or whatever it's called.
I'm not multi-classing. I'm staying
Multi-classing. You're a technomancer or the other magic one, mystic.
Ooh,
Which are you?
Close, but no cigar.
Close but no cigar.
Will, you got a guess? No?
Solarian.
All right, moving on, Jon. You're not telling anybody anything?
What is it? I have it in my head. I can't think of what it's called. It's the
So for the listener, Vinny is pointing at his watch. I think Vinny's got it figured out.
Yeah,
I do. I just can't remember what it's called. It's right next to Solarian in my head.
It's kind of, yeah. All right.
It's the time. You're the doctor, basically.
Like the Doctor Who doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, not like the medical
traveling
doctor.
thing?
You're David Tennant.
All right. So our listeners, tell us what is Rolu's class. But from there, we're going to move on. Vinny, are you ready to tell us about your levels? Or did you want to tell us a skill, Jon? Are you done?
I'm done.
Jon, are you precog?
Okay.
Yes. Yes. That's what
Yes,
it is.
yes.
Am I
Precog.
Yes, I'm a precog.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Precog is I've read through it. It's such a cool class. It's
Yeah,
so
it's a
fun.
really cool
Yep.
class.
Sweet.
Yeah. But I will say that Rolu, if you haven't noticed, is like not trying to advertise that he's a precog. He's not trying to like really lean into that. So
it's interesting if your characters know if he's a precog or not.
Right.
'Cause I don't know. If that's
I would think that he hasn't done anything outwardly to try and make that
You
known.
casted some spells, though.
Yeah, but those could just be
depending on the spell, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, your character might have their suspicions, but he hasn't been so now that I'm just doing my little precognition thing, I'm not saying that out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
It's just kind of funny
I think the only reason I know you're a precog is because I also wanted to roll a precog.
That's right.
So you knew one of the skills he used, and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of funny, the idea that there are only 12 classes now total. Is originally 6, and they've expanded out. I'm not sure what the number is, but everybody in this world that is somebody is one of these classes.
Yeah.
And in the real world, it's not like that at all. You find out somebody's job or whatever. I just think it's funny. And again, it's not like there's a rule book. If I start talking about mechanical sciences and stuff, and somebody doesn't pull open a rule book and go he's probably a mechanical engineer, because he used that phrase.
Right.
So,
Well,
anyways,
I think it's a theme thing, right? You would be maybe a mechanic, but your theme would be scholar, maybe, or engineer. I don't know.
anyways, Chalk. Where did Chalk go with his levels?
I have not multi-classed. Chalk is still an Envoy. He's just an Envoy 2 now.
Ooh, sweet.
And I'm going to let his new ability come out when we go to use it. I think the party's going to be pretty excited about it, though.
Dope.
And
It's always fun.
I rolled Envoy. I knew he was going to be tiny, and so I expected him to end up filling more of a support role anyway, which, Envoys are great facilitators for whichever group they end up being in. So, yeah. And he spent some time in the moments after killing the Khefak processing all of the language he's heard so far. So he got a new language in Akitonian.
Nice.
Smart shot.
Terme, do you want to tell us a little bit about your character?
Terme is. I don't need to do his voice.
What? No, stop me.
I like it. That's good.
Terme's a witch warper, and he leveled in witch warper.
Yeah.
And that comes with it unlocks the paradigm shift.
Yes.
which I'm excited to try out. Hopefully I get a chance, but I don't want to spoil.
I'm so intrigued by that. I'll say that I got to play a Witch Warper in one of our like practice sessions, and between Precog and Witch Warper, I think those are two of my favorite, like maybe not playing them, but like concepts. The idea of those things are just so cool. And I like that Starfinder is able to roll them into a game. Thaddeus, what do you got going on?
Thaddeus is a soldier, and he doubled down on that so that he could just be better at fighting and also being proficient in a variety of weapons. Being that he's a weps, and also he gained some combat, one particular combat ability, which can help like kind of provide a boon during combat. You know, those people that are like, gather round, tactical retreat. You know, he stay in the fight, and just like little phrases like that like kind of buff everyone.
Is that a soldier thing? That's
a soldier thing.
Like phrases are definitely a envoy's like domain. That's how they like boosting people's morale. Get them, guys! Is what get them, and a lot of other things.
Envoy might have them too.
So I'm curious. I didn't know soldiers had, and I play a soldier in our main game, and I don't know. But I went down a different path. So I didn't know they had those kind of.
Yeah,
feats.
They do.
It's pretty cool.
They do.
Yeah.
Bolster the troops.
I like how all of us, none of us said anything specific because we wanted to come up in game and surprise Kev.
That's fine.
I mostly want to hear Kev lose his marbles at
everything
what?
You guys do.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's cool because I'm leveling up my characters too.
What? That's not
my dead Khefak is now level 7.
That's not how this
Nobody
works.
cares.
You just see like an animation on its dead body. It just like glows for like a second. Oh, sad.
I think we should get into it. So,
Okay, let's get into it.
You guys are all in this open field. Chalk and Rolu and your shadow spider are actually really close to this Khefak that is still radiating radiation, which is a funny.
I think the shadow spider is probably gone now.
We gotta give him a name.
Its name is Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, shadow spider.
Nice.
Peter, you've become a pirate.
Thaddeus and Terme, though, are further away. They're outside of that radiation, and they are over near the entrance to this giant sea of sand. On the opposite side of that sand is a hover truck that is damaged and flat to the ground. One thing that you might have noticed while this is all coming down, the door cracks open and an android peeks their head out. They have blue skin with gold circuits kind of glowing through their skin, and they have long green braids. And they stick their head out and they ask you, "Is it safe to come out now?"
Is the android wearing armor?
They do have armor.
Is there a token?
Oh, yeah, that's sorry. I forgot about this. I was going to show you. Let me see if I can find them.
I'm so curious.
Boom!
Now that's an avocado eating
Whoa!
dog.
Great artwork.
I know, I love Starfinder artwork.
That's so cool.
Oh.
But they are awesome looking.
Yeah,
That's
their
dope.
eyes are like just the irradiance of the blue really stands out.
The hair, the type of green is really pretty too. Nice braids.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
this like copper sort of chin strap or something that they have?
That's a part of their circuitry that is
Oh, that's
glowing
awesome.
through.
They've got
Nice.
some dope
looks so
circuits.
Yeah, and they've got like a very cyberpunk red jacket with like the collar kind of popped up on one side and the green braids. It's cool
Kind of
artwork.
80s looking. I like it.
Definitely 80s.
As Very 13, nobody responded to them, but they're
Check this.
gonna
Wait.
Depends on what you mean by safe.
Because we asked her, "Where's your token?" so we can see what you look like. That's what we said.
Oh, that's what, man. See, look, I'm such a. Hold on, I gotta like
I've never
switch.
seen a dog eat avocados before.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I
They're
responded. with.
still in the truck.
Oh, I thought they were getting out of the truck.
There we go.
There's radiation out here. Unless you have something to protect yourself, you might want to hold off a minute.
Yeah, they reply, "Oh, I've had my environmental protections on this
this whole time.
Cool. Then you're good. Come on out.
Are you very 13?
I am very 13, yes. And they look very disheveled, very dirty. And they also kind of comment like they are very tired, very hungry.
Are you feeling okay? Are they hurt?
They are not. They are at full health.
Dope.
Rolu's gonna walk up and say, "How did you get in this situation?"
And that's her their face kind of drops. I came here with him, and they point to Lorgan, who's dead on the ground. As we came in, we realized we were being followed by some group, and we were finally confronted a ways back, and Lorgan happened to kill one of them. But we got away from them. But as we came into this area, another one followed us and confronted us. But that is when we were attacked by that giant sand creature. I owe my life to both of them.
Which one of these followed you in? Is it this one?
There's 2 dead bodies on the map. I'll say that this one is Lorgan, and the one to the right is the true warrior. And as we mentioned, both of them were pointed at something. So you can assume that they were fighting the Khefak together. Like, they might have been confronting each other, but the Khefak was a bigger danger, and they both lost their lives to it.
Tremaine is going to go over and touch the true warrior and cast a cantrip, Grave Words.
That's dope.
Go ahead and read what Grave Words does.
You can force a touched corpse to talk to you, but you can't ask it specific questions or communicate with it at all. The corpse utters random sentences for 1 round. With a 10% chance, this information is of some use to you. Useful information might include warnings about dangers in a wrecked starship, the password to unlock a computer, or the name of a supernatural creature seeking you or your allies. The GM makes the percent roll in secret and decides what information, useful or not, the corpse spews out in its babbling.
That's cool.
You kind of reach out, you touch, and this glow passes through the body. Yeah. You almost hear a gasp, and the lips start to move. It is definitely a corpse speaking, but you hear this dead true warrior say, "Just tell me what you're looking for, and I'll let you go." Ah! What is that? And then the body falls limp.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
cool.
It's pretty cool.
That was a 10% chance.
Yeah, you didn't make that.
Yeah,
I don't know what information I would have been able to give you.
Who knows? You're the GM.
You didn't get it.
There's 5 more coming for you.
Yeah.
Cast it again.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, that's right.
It can only be cast once per 24 hours on the same creature, I think.
That is a cool cantrip, though.
Yeah, that's a really neat cantrip.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh.
Anyone in particular?
No, everybody, kind of,
Okay.
Whatever.
17.
18.
15.
22.
Man, all right, so you guys all see it. You notice that there is a junk drone. A junk drone. It's partially buried near this hover truck. Oh. And it seems like Fire 13 didn't even notice it. You know, they were such a scramble to get into the truck, and now that they're out of the truck, they didn't really figure that out. And actually, I'll say that Rolu, you're closer to the truck, and you kind of see into the truck a little bit as the door opens, and there's just stale cup cigarettes in the cup holder, and there's a fire extinguisher underneath the seat. The gauge on that would show that it's full.
The fire extinguisher full?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take
Take it.
Well, I'm going to help Very 13 out of the truck. Then I'm going to take the fire extinguisher out. And also, can I do an engineering check just to see if there's anything, or like a perception to see if there's anything about this truck that's unusual, or if it's just junk that's here?
You can roll an engineering check on it.
Okay. Ooh, I rolled a natural 1, so I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a truck.
Is this truck stable? Or are we at risk of it just rolling down this?
So you can kind of see on the map, there's a ridge here that's very tall. It's actually, it's straight up, and the truck is kind of against it. Yeah, just from the look of it, though, it is old, disheveled. I think I read a description of it before, like the words on the side are sun beaten away, completely bleached out. So, yeah, there's not much left to it. But, yeah, one thing to note is that it is a hover truck. It's definitely not hovering anymore.
Jermaine's going to walk over to the truck. Can I do like an engineering check to see what's like busted? And
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. Roll an engineering check for me.
It'd be cool if we could just drive it around. That'd be cool. Float around.
Okay. 20.
All right. So you can from that you can see like The gauge reads full. The Thesterian that's in it, the tank though is empty. It is a Thesterian trucker. Like the hover truck was delivering Thesterian, which makes or Thesterin, sorry. Thesterian is whatever. Words are hard. This truck was basically a transporter for the material that was used in pre-drift drive engine.
Right.
Yep. Space engines.
And it's got no fuel.
Well, the gauge reads full, but as an engineer with a high engineering check, you know that it's pegged at full, and there's a hole in the tank where clearly this Khefak was feeding.
Got it.
But everything else you notice on the truck, it was probably a fully capable truck. Whatever reason, it stopped hovering, and now it's it was just abandoned, and then became food for this Khefak that is now dead. So
I'm just wondering if I could repair it and drive it.
no, it's
Too far gone.
200 years old. There's no way you're gonna get that thing running again.
Even if I restore 1d4 hit points with
I have mending too. So with our powers combined, I think we can do
Dang
it.
it, why didn't we coordinate this better?
Yeah. Well, we can maybe lemon law. That's fine. Can I do an engineering check on the drone?
Oh, the drone. Yes. Is that the full? I don't know if it's just a picture.
Oh,
Nope, that
that's
is all the details too.
Is that a firearm?
Junk drone is a collection of it's basically a turret of some sort. Let's see.
Do we have to be a mechanic to use it?
Man, I don't know. Asking a lot of questions. Fashioned from half-completed motors, rusting servos, and a bit of garbage, this non-flying device. I'm going to point that out. It's got legs. It cannot fly.
Okay.
Even if it's meant to, it does not have that ability in this region.
Oh, when activated, you control it as if it were a first level mechanic, as if you were a first level mechanic. So it must be usable.
As if you were.
Is this Bernice's Akitonian cousin?
Yes.
Oh, it kind of looks like a briefcase.
Not really. It looks really cool
Yeah,
though.
not even a
It
little bit.
looks like a rusted scrap parts and springs kind of put together for 4 legs, and then this turret on top that looks like a
Looks like a pillbox.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it reminds me of those old modules at planetariums before they started using projectors
yes,
Yeah.
that they would shoot the light out of.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is yours to do what you want with.
So we're gonna watch, do Dark Side of the Moon, Star,
Yeah.
Nightlight,
Nightlight.
stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, roll me a life science check on the Khefak. Just to make sure it's dead.
Anybody?
Really?
Yeah, I'll do that.
I don't know. Did we establish that nobody has life science?
I actually added it, so I can.
Kelly,
I have it, but
Nice.
it's not very hot. I didn't.
I rolled a 17 for a 20.
cool. All right, that is enough. You know that this carapace of the Thesteron Khefak might be worth selling, similar to other Khefaks. The actual outer shell is worth some money. The problem is that because this Khefak is radioactive, and so it might take a little more work to convince a buyer that it's worth more. But that's up to you.
Is the meat radioactive?
The meat actually, as soon as this thing dies, the meat starts to decay away, and it's
Gross, man.
Gross.
yeah, it almost turns to mush. It's
Radioactive Khefak dogs might be a unique delicacy.
Might be too far.
So I think Rollo's going to turn to Very 13 and say, "We've been looking for you. Your former contact Riddle expressed concern about your well-being and hadn't heard from you."
Oh, thank you, Triune, for delivering these warriors. I was very scared, and I know that Riddle would take care of me. I'm very gracious for her. Can we get out of here?
Yes, follow close.
Did you find what you were looking for?
I did. That escape pod over there, and they point to the escape pod that's to the south. I can explain that all later, but I would like to get out of here first.
Did you collect what you need from it?
Yes, I did. Thank you. And they step closer towards Rolu. He's been the most inviting.
Chuck is going to step up and extend a vine. Hi, I'm Chuck the Rexolite.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And they grab your vine.
Apologies, we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Rolu.
Rolu?
Termaiden, but you may call me Termay.
Termaiden.
He leans over and whispers, he's a bit of a square.
Thaddeus, don't be rude.
Thaddeus is just way off the distance. Like, hey, I'm Thaddeus. We saved your ass. We'll escort you out.
Very 13 awkwardly waves from the distance.
He likes guns.
Don't mind him. He can be thorny.
He's just on Overwatch.
One of Thaddeus's fangs just glints in the sunlight. And that's it.
So can we head out?
Let's boogie.
Chuck looks up and says, do you mind?
I expect that we might run into somebody, though, given there's a true warrior here.
Does anyone need to heal before we move on, in case we encounter something else? Or are you all ready to move?
I mean, we can't make a day of it. I guess I could do a 10-minute
We have a what the fuck are they called?
med kit.
Stim packs? I don't know. Yeah, med whatever is like so.
We
have med kits?
I'm just saying.
You mean
just
healing serums?
healing serums? Weps is just saying if
Singular.
if anyone really,
We have
really, really needs to do it, now's the time to do it. That's all
I
I'm
need to
saying.
do maybe a 10-minute rest.
Okay, let's take it now and then move on.
I was going to ask a question to them.
Okay.
Why do you think these true warriors these hooligans were after you and Lorgan?
I am not certain, but I will tell you all of this when we get back to Junker's Delight. But I am onto something big, and I think they may have learned that, and they might be trying to take my secrets.
Good to know.
Rest up, and we'll move on.
We'll make sure that you get back safely.
Thank you.
Before we leave, can I search the cabin of this thing?
We already did. The cabin had just stale cigarettes and the fire extinguisher.
And I took the fire extinguisher.
Oh, it's just fuel truck. That's right. For pre-start.
While you guys are doing that 10-minute rest, after that 10-minute rest is over, very 13, they come over and they tell you all, they are grouped together, and they say, like, I just want to thank you for what you're doing, but we need to be careful. So look alive out there, and they are going to use the look alive feat, which they burn a resolve point, and you guys each gain +2 morale bonus to perception and initiative checks for the next hour.
Wow. +2 to what?
Perception and initiative checks.
Cool. So can we just start heading back the same way?
Yeah, you kind of don't have any other route. You're
Right.
Like I said, there's that the map looks flat, but it's actually raised up several, I'll say 20 feet high ledge, and it just doesn't seem like there's a way out that way. So it's easier to go back where you came. So let's go ahead and move that way. You kind of come around that edge, and you get back to that. We talked about this, the cavernous area that's very sharp. I'm going to need each of you to roll an athletics check. Very will lead the way. They rolled high enough that they don't take any damage from it.
Nice. Well done.
25.
They were also the one to cause this, so
Yeah, pretty much.
15.
Dang it. 8. I had the worst time coming through this last time, and I'm not any better this time.
Rolu, why can't you squeeze through these little spaces?
Dude, you can't. I mean, you really can't.
Did a 15 not make it?
hold on, I'm trying to look, man.
I thought it was like DC 10.
It's 16 athletics check.
Are you kidding?
Wow, that's a high athletics check to not
I
get
know.
cut. All right, well, Rolu gets
Actually,
cut.
no, I'll take that back. There was 16 coming through. This time I'll lower to. I don't know what you guys rolled. I wasn't listening. It's lower to 12. So if you got less than DC 12, you have to take 1d6 of damage.
Check passes.
I got a 15, but
Yeah, I'll let a 15 pass.
I got less than 12.
Rolu, are you serious? Are you having trouble there? Looks like you're taking some damage, Rolu. How much did you take?
Do I roll the d6, Kev?
Oh, are you the only one? I'll roll it for you if you want.
Okay, yeah.
That's only 1 point of damage.
Sweet.
Nice.
I'm fine, Thaddeus. I appreciate the concern, however rare it may be from you.
Always concerned about you.
seems to be a theme, but who am I to say?
I was clumsy in my youth.
So you guys all make it through this crevice. Rolo's the only one to take even the slightest bit of damage. But now that you're on the other side, I am going to ask you to roll initiative.
What?
God, just to make it easy, because you know we're going back through the Khefak nests. I'm not saying you have to get into combat. There are ways around this, but
You want us to be in an initiative order in general.
Right.
yeah, just for the
6
next
for the monkey.
6 for the monkey.
That's with the +3 or +2.
That's
Yeah.
with a +2.
Yeah, I rolled a 2 on the die.
Nice.
Woof.
Woof, indeed.
He was enthralled by Very 13's green hair.
Oh my God,
I
really?
got a 19.
19 for Terme,
16.
16 for Thaddeus,
Rolu got a 7.
and a 7. All right, and I'll let you know Vari got an 11. So let me modify all these.
The literal battle music just came on, by the way.
So it's not battle music.
You're not in battle yet.
Okay.
Thaddeus is going to quickly shout, like, everyone, I just move stealthily.
You got it. I think I might go scout ahead to see if there's anybody waiting for us. And Chuck stealthily imbles over.
Is Chuck first?
Oh, wait. I forgot we were actually in initiative order. Chuck's last.
I think Will's first.
All right. So go ahead and we're going to start just going down initiative order to get back through. So just for the listener, we are going back around that corner into where the 2 pyramids of Khefak nests are. They're just chassis stacked up in almost perfect squares into a ziggurat kind of structure. And we know from prior experience that this is where the Khefaks live and nest, and they're like almost throbbing with life because the small Khefaks are eating and digging.
They're what?
It's as
They're throbbing with life?
throbbing. Yeah, the ziggurat as a whole is like kind of
Thrumming, yeah.
thrumming, whatever. I'm bad with words. Shut up.
Pulsating.
And it's
you're right,
built
dude.
out of junk, right?
Yeah.
It's junk, but like it's moving just a little bit.
Okay.
Because there's thousands of these tiny Khefaks, tiny, and I'm not talking tiny in Starfinder. I'm talking like minuscule,
Got it.
half an inch thick
Babies.
Yeah.
babies.
Khefaks.
It's only until they get to a small size they become a threat. So go ahead and take your move actions. You can do whatever you need to get through them.
Okay.
Who's first?
The first person to go is going to be Terme.
Okay, Terme is going to come up to the edge stealthily. So I suppose I have to roll a stealth check.
I'm going to have you roll a stealth for every full move you make. So if you're going to do 2 moves, I need you to do 2 stealth checks.
I'm doing 1 move.
Oh, you're not going to move twice?
Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, hey guys, do you think we could distract them perhaps?
Clever girl.
And then, so his first movement, just going to do that. And then off the top of the ziggurat, I'm going to like find some one bulk item, perhaps. I think I can move up to 1 bulk. That doesn't say.
With what?
Psychokinetic hand.
Okay, cool. I like it.
1 bulk, yeah. And I would like just push it off the top and maybe onto the backside of the ziggurat.
Just nudge it over the edge. Yeah, I'll let you do that. Cool. All right.
And then maybe that would distract them from swarming onto us.
So that is your full turn.
Yep.
It is now Thaddeus' turn.
Can I move twice when I'm in stealth?
You can?
Possible.
Yeah, I'll let you move. Yeah, you have to roll a stealth for each move action.
Well, it's 11, and I'm going to move 60 feet.
You have to roll twice. So it's 11 for your first move, and then it's going to be...
Got you. I think I'll roll again here probably, and then more stealth roll. That's a 19. I'm assuming that's good. Wow, I'm really taking up the vanguard here. Let's hope I don't get
Yeah, don't get good.
probably about here.
Okay, cool. So Thaddeus creeps his way along. We haven't seen anything yet, but we are in initiative order, so keep that in mind. It is now Very 13's turn, and Very 13 is going to move up right behind Terme, and that is going to be their full turn.
Okay.
So it is now Rolu's turn.
Rolu's going to move up also right behind Terme, and I will do a stealth check. Stealth roll. Don't fail me now. 13.
Okay.
And then gonna keep moving to support Thaddeus. And I would like to move to probably here. Next to, just like around the bend, right? So I came up on one side of the bend and I can just make it to the other because I was last coming out of that crevice. So I'm gonna do another roll. Ooh, 11.
All right. So Rolu's moved twice. I got your stealths in mind. Chuck, it is now your turn.
Chuck is going to move up to very 13. I'm going to hold option so I can move to this corner.
Oh, sorry. Let me just rewind a bit. You guys can see that Khefak on the map, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the one on top.
Okay, that Khefak exists. It is there.
That's not just an artifact of the old one, of the last battle?
No. That is a live, living Khefak.
Cool.
On the second ziggurat, kind of on the north side of it.
Has it been alerted to us?
That you don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't think we know.
He was in the last battle.
Check. I'm going to roll stealth for that first move.
It's a veteran.
Yeah, he just didn't attack last time, so hopefully it doesn't sense us this time.
That's a 1 on the die for a total of 11? No. No, 8. 8. For a total of 8.
Okay. That's for your first move.
That's for my first move. I'm going to use a free action to turn to Very 13. Say, you're safe. You're safe with me. I'll keep you safe.
As he climbs on their shoulder.
I thought about it. I didn't want to do it without consent.
Always get consent if you're going to climb on
Their
someone.
purse and
Yes, that's really good advice.
before you put your vines on them. Yeah.
And I'm going to use one of my envoy improvisations. This did not take long. For that is Termaedan right next to me, I think.
Yes.
I'm going to use my envoy improvisation coordinated reload.
Nice.
So as a move action, hey, get ready. I can draw my weapon, and I basically give him a bonus move action to draw or reload his weapon,
Nice.
so that he can draw and fire in the same turn.
That's
Reloading.
Reloading.
Nice.
So
amazing.
reloading, but he whispers it because they're right next to each other and trying to be stopped.
Reloading. Okay.
Cool. It is now the Khefak's turn. The one you can see.
Okay.
The one who
What?
can't
What, John?
see us.
Just can you give us some flavor of what triggers that? I don't know. Just curious.
So this Khefak, and mind you, these 6 seconds are all happening at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Chuck stumbles and trips, and then uses his vines to pick him up and set himself right, and that catches the Khefak's senses, and it turns towards the group back there. It sees you, and then the junk falls on the other side from Termae, and so it charges towards the group, and I'll move it, boop boop boop, and it's going to come up right here, and then it turns back.
Khefak's got some hops.
And it's actually going to step away and look towards the junk that fell. And that's the end of round 1.
Thaddeus is just gesturing emphatically, like, get the fuck
Yeah.
move.
Top of the round number 2. Termae, it's your turn again.
Termae is going to do the same program and see if it works. More junk's going to come off, I would say, more towards the north this time from where I indicated the last time. So the sort of northernmost corner of the ziggurat, just going to have a piece, fly off into the canyon wall, see if it can draw the attention. I'll try to make it bounce with enough force so that it rattles, maybe against the ziggurat and the canyon wall.
I'm actually say roll a will save for that.
What do you mean?
It's like a strength check, but you're using your mind for it. So I kind of want to see if it could bounce. That's because you're only allowed to lift something one bulk. So I'm going to say if you're trying to force it to move, I want you to kind of put an oomph to it.
Well, it has to be you can propel an object 15 feet in any direction. Okay, fine. My will is 0, so 15.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. You don't it doesn't jump across, but it definitely hops and then slams down.
Nice.
And actually almost like a slinky.
And then I'm going to stealthily move 30 feet of my movement. I can get maybe there.
Yeah. Okay.
So I roll for stealth.
Yes, please.
12?
All right. So you kind of squeeze past between the wall and the ziggurat, and then you got to pass Rolu, and you kind of grab him by the shoulders and slide past him. And it's Thaddeus' turn.
Thaddeus is going to roll stealth again and move on to the swampy sort of area. We're back on top of those platforms now where we're crossing. It's a 13. And then I'm going to move over here. And then he's also going to equip his re-equip his Squad Aegis series and take off his environmental protection suit.
He's going to equip his what?
Because I don't think those things... He's going to re-equip his Squad Aegis series armor and take off his environmental protection suit. I don't think they can be worn at the same time, as far as I know. So, yeah.
I'm not sure about that. But
Yeah.
okay.
That's it. And then he gestures emphatically again. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Silently, just like waving his hand.
I'm trying to distract him.
Cool. That's awesome. It is now Vari 13's turn. They are going to move towards Rolu and kind of get in between Rolu and Terme.
Okay.
Back around that corner. Let me roll stealth. It's passing-ish.
What is passing?
None of your business. And then they are going to move one more time and try to catch up with Thaddeus. And let me roll another stealth. Okay. That is the end of Vari's turn. Rolu, it is your turn.
I think as Rolu came around the corner and started to turn south, it was probably right when Terme sent another, piece of junk flying, and Rolu maybe didn't realize that because he just saw the Khefak, so he thinks there was something else. So he gets a little tense, and then he feels Terme's hands trying to move by him. He's like, oh! He gets like a little spooked as Terme goes past, and then calms down and sees Thaddeus waving. So Rolu's going to keep moving. He's going to move once and try and stealthily move. That is a 14.
Okay.
That's going to be... Where is that? Probably right behind Vari. Right behind them. And then...
So Vari and Rolu are now like right at the start of the metal walkways over the toxic river.
And I think Rolu's going to stay there. He's going to want to keep things spaced out. He's going to turn back, make sure that Terme and Chak can get out of there without drawing more attention.
Isn't Chak on Very 13?
I don't think so.
No, he said he was not.
Oh, okay.
Shaq's just
All
chilling
right.
out.
Speaking of Chuck, it is now your turn.
Chuck is deeply uncomfortably being left behind by the rest of the party.
Good job, dude.
It's all happening at the same time.
Right.
Shock, catch up, man.
Right.
Chuck.
Let's take some measurement. I've got 30 feet of movement, so if I double move, I can basically get to
Oh, yeah, for sure.
the same square as I can get to like this square.
Right past.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to double move Chuck like Scooby-Doo tiptoes.
I like that he's tiptoeing, but he's kind of raised up a little bit because it's his vines that are actually moving him. So he's like in the air.
That is a
Amazing.
24.
Okay.
And no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. That's a 9. It's a 2 on the die. It's a 9.
So go ahead and move your character.
Yeah, hang on. Let me take that measurement one more again. So to get to here was 24.
Uh-huh.
To get from here to here was a 9.
You're on, sorry, I'm just looking at the map. Are you on the metal walkway or are you on the stone?
I'm on stone.
Okay.
I would have crossed the metal walkway, but I'm on stone.
Yeah. So, creaks across the metal, you kind of settle on the stone, and it is now the visible Khefak's turn. And that Khefak, it watched Vari. Like it saw the stuff falling on the other side, and it was concerned, but it caught, its eye was focused on Vari as they passed, and then Chalk passed. Or sorry, Rolu. It was actually Rolu that had the lower, right?
No. Rolu had a 14 stealth.
I don't know. Somebody had a pretty low roll. I think 8.
It was Chalk.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Chalk.
I don't
Okay,
know.
it was Chalk then. So it caught between these two. It has to decide, and it actually starts to turn back towards the group, and it's going to climb down. It's actually going to climb back up and dig into this metal. So I'm going to hide it. It dives into that metal. It is now the start of round number 3. And as that round starts...
Did anyone notice that? Like it burrowing in?
I think Terme would have.
Yeah, Terme definitely saw it. He's standing there like...
Okay.
Right.
Terme's like against the wall trying to like not move, kind of like
Right.
T-Rex.
I picture is it Grunk from Emperor's New Groove where he's up against the wall and it's working though. Terme's doing a great job of like draxing it and like staying still, and he sees this thing dive into the metal, and as the thing dives into the metal we start round number 3, and I'm gonna show you something else.
What?
I'm so scared right now.
A swamp monster appears.
I'm so, yeah.
Khefak number 2
Yeah, naturally.
is investigating all of the rubble that had fallen from Terme. Terme threw all that stuff kind of to the north, and Khefak number 2 was actually scurrying towards that stuff.
What's this Khefak's name?
This is Khefak number 2.
Oh, okay.
You can call it 2 for short.
Yeah. They don't have
Deuces.
minds, so no names.
Yeah. So it gets to that metal, it realizes it's just metal, and then it's going to turn back, and it's going to start moving towards the other one. And it's going to get to here, and that's when it sees Terme. It locks eyes. And that's our
How did?
What? How did it see me?
We sprung the trap. That's how.
Boo.
Well, I say we. I sprung the trap.
Yeah, you did roll less than a 10. Was that what was necessary, Kev, to roll less than a 10?
Man, it's bull. I don't know. I'm making this stuff as we go. Come on.
Thanks for listening, ye scallywags. Until next week, drift beacons and distant stars.